everybody, Uber Lady Charlotte here, and in Denver it's about 8:11 in the evening, and I want to tell you how things went today in class. Today was not a good day in class. No, it wasn't. And I'm telling you this as I wait on my classmate to get her hotel. But it was not a good day in class. I made it though, but I'm somewhat disappointed myself. I took the test, and there were there's probably about 20 people in my class, and the instructor said, once you take your test, you're free to leave. Okay, well, I'm sitting there doing my test, and people start to leave. I'm still doing my test. Then the instructor says, you have 2 hours left. I'm still taking my test. Then the instructor says, you have 30 minutes left. I'm the only one in there taking my test. I was the only one in there after 3 hours, still taking my test. They were all word problems. Like, for example, a car slid 68 feet before striking a pedestrian, which after that, it slid an additional 160 feet before hitting the bus. What was the initial speed of the car at the beginning of the skid? So it was 25 of those. 25 of those. And different ones, but they were like that mainly. And then it was like questions that had to do with me finding the vehicle speed of a car or a truck that had yaw marks. Now, or a curve in a yaw mark in a curve, and I had to find the radius. And then go back and tell them how fast the vehicle was going by looking at the yaw marks or skid marks, how fast the vehicle was going. Today was very challenging, and it was so challenging because I didn't have my glasses. I left them at home. So I bought a pair of dollar store glasses, which I can't see real good right now. All my vision is really blurry. And I haven't been home yet to take my medication, so everything's kind of cloudy to me as well. It's just like I'm in a room full of smoke. And I haven't eaten in a while. And I just got highly frustrated. Now, I'm not one to give up on stuff, but when I was stuck on question number 11 for 2 hours, because I didn't want you really to skip and go to the next one, because the next question had built off of the one prior to it. And then if I had gone to 13 or 14, then those questions would use the answers that I found for question number 11. So you understand what I'm saying? I couldn't go back up. I had to use the answers down to answer what was up here. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't skip. So by this time, I'm tired and I'm irritated, and then I just said, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I tried and I'm done. So I stood up and I walked over to the table and I gave them my test and I told them to have a good evening. So one of the instructors says to me, so are you good? And I just looked and I did the best I can do. So I turned to leave and he says, wait, you didn't answer 11 down to 25. I said, well, I just couldn't do it. So he said, so the other instructor said, so you give up? You're not coming back Friday? Because Friday's the last day of class. And I just looked at him, and so I started to walk out the classroom. Disgusted in myself. But then the senior teacher says to me, you're not done. You take your butt back over there, take this paper, and you go sit down, and you finish it. And then he sent one of the instructors over to help me. He said, we told you we're here to help you. You're not going to fail this class. Go over there and sit your butt down. Okay, this man's 79 years old. I was mad, but I went over and sat down. So she sits beside me, and she looks at, I got all the way to 17. But I got so lost in all these formulas because in these word equations, you needed to use sometimes one formula, sometimes two, sometimes three different formulas in order to get the information you needed for the next step of the word problem. And I got lost in all those formulas. And then we had so many papers. I mean, it was all good information, examples, but you don't know what examples to go look at because you're so lost in all these formulas. I mean, it was crazy. I felt like I was in a tornado. So she sat down and she looked at my paper, and we started at 11. She said, well, you got 11 right. I said, okay. So we looked at 12. She said, you had 12 right, but you just didn't finish it. And she said, now give me the speed. What's the formula for the speed? Well, I gave her the formula for the speed. She said, that's the answer. And I said, oh. She said, let's look at 13. I answered 13. She said, but why did you stop? I said, I just wasn't clear. So anyway, long story short, hold on, let me put y'all on pause.